All right. Joey Atlas here with Nikki Joey in the Sculpt to Fit studio. Back with Wellness and Weight Loss for Women, episode number 3? Three.
Already.
All right, so as you're tuning in live, before we actually fire up the podcast, please post any of your questions below. We will be taking your questions that you post below and including them on either the next show or the show after that. So you can get as detailed as you want, and we look forward to hearing about your biggest challenges, your biggest struggles when it comes to nutrition, fitness, mindset, anything health, lifestyle related. We want to know because we can help you.
Absolutely. Or if you have something with your kids, or your kids are struggling, or your husband, or a coworker, ask for them as well.
Now we're going to hit record and the podcast will become official. Hello, this is Joey Atlas here, back with Wellness and Weight Loss for Women, episode number 3. I'm here with Nikki Joey in the Sculpt to Fit studio. And if you want to catch the video version of this, you can head over to the link that we're sharing with you that takes you over to the YouTube channel. You can come over to the sculptofit.com website, check the video links there, or you can come track us down on social media and you can ask us for the video link for this show and all the other ones. So as you're watching on video and as you're listening through the audio, most of this is somewhat planned, but there's a lot of it that's kind of random and on the fly. Nikki and I, we don't script any of this. We don't pre-rehearse anything. It's casually put together, kind of loosely, with some structure, with some topics. We just turn everything on and we go. So you're going to see us make grammatical typos. We're gonna mess up the language every now and again. You're going to hear some ums, you're going to hear some ahs, you're going to hear some pauses. But it goes to show you we're the real deal, and we bring it to you live, right from the heart. So, Nick, where are we starting today? What do we got to start with?
Let's take a look. So we definitely need an outline because Joey and I can get chatty.
Yeah.
Before we get an outline, actually, and that way we'll get it out of the way, your youngest just had a birthday.
She did, 15 years old, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that because a 15-year-old girl, I guess the boys too, I remember when JoJo was that age and Alexa, but for all the parents out there, if you have kids, you know 15 can be a challenge, and it brings up whole different types of stress. Hence, we need stress reduction, stress management, but also communication. Got to have good communication so that we can hang with these kids and guide them in the right way without feeling like they're being bossed around or forced around or what have you. I'm not perfect. I'm not anywhere near perfect, but trying is half the battle. So, yeah, awesome birthday. A lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Thank you.
Awesome. Sarah's such a good kid. All right, so let's go to our outline. Let's see what we have here. I've got some housekeeping for our local clients.
Yeah, so local. As you're watching on video, as you're listening on audio, we make this in our local location. So if you want to see the studio, come onto the video, check it out. We make this for our local clients, but the topics we're covering and all the information we're sharing applies to you no matter where you live, not only on Earth, but in the universe. This is universal, it's global. And the things we're sharing can apply to anyone, anywhere. And even though this is a women's focused podcast and video show, it also applies to the guys too. So if you want to have your hubbies tune in, you want to share this with them, that's cool. They will learn because they can see this old guy right here is preaching and teaching this stuff and living it myself. So we are going to be sharing lessons and information that are helpful for both genders.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Awesome. All right, so if you are actually, for anyone that's watching, we have an awesome 100 Club that we just started out. Any client that has been here 100 times, coming in and getting their sessions, or more, lots of them have been more, we're celebrating them and getting everything together to celebrate them on the walls, which is, these people have built habits. These ladies have really started a foundation where they may not have had it before.
Yeah, you know what's amazing about that? And we'll talk more about this in future episodes. Some of these women have never done anything in their entire lifetime, we consider that completely sedentary. Even though they may have worked, done some gardening, whatever, zero fitness activity, exercise, anything structured in their lifetime. Some women, other women who a lot of people can identify with, have been on again, off again their entire life. Started doing things from a young age, they tried everything, they came, they went, they got hurt, they got burnt out, they couldn't do it anymore, they found some other stuff, they tried easy things that were too easy, and they've just been on this lifetime journey of searching for that perfect solution, and a lot of them end up here.
Absolutely.
But go ahead with the 100 Club mentions.
Yeah, 100 Clubs, we've got tons of ladies actually speaking to that. Ellen has just said, she's tried everywhere and she hasn't been able to stick with it for more than a couple months.
Right.
The 100 Club, you got to put in a few more months than a couple months to really make this a lifestyle.
It's almost a year, give or take, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working on those. If you are local and you haven't yet sent me your photo, go ahead and send that in to me, and that way we can get you up and celebrate you on the wall and have you inspire other people that are looking to get their fitness on a consistent level. That's mostly all I have for housekeeping. We did have that awesome seminar Monday night, that foot health seminar with Dr. Brimmer.
Yeah, so E5 seminar, we do those around once a month in the studio here, different topics. Sometimes I speak on specific things. Sometimes we'll have outside experts coming in. Sometimes Nikki and the coaches will speak. We'll even have some clients who are well-versed in a very specific topic come in and speak as well. The last one we had was Dr. Brimmer. He spoke about foot health, foot issues, bunions, hammer toes, and some other things, plantar fasciitis, which is a biggie. Did a great little seminar, awesome Q&A session. We video recorded that, and that will be in our private client portal. So it won't be public, because we can't make that public, but for all clients watching, whether you're local or a long-distance client, that will be going on the video on demand portal, along with all the other videos and training lessons and recipes in there. If you are long distance or even local and you want access to the video on demand portal, you can have it, but you have to start on the free side of it. So you can go to fitnesstraining.live, that's fitnesstraining.live. That gives you free access to a whole introduction of the portal, several video lessons and training sessions. And then if you want to join for everything else, there'll be a link on those video pages that will show you exactly where to join at a discount. Because you're tuning in to us, you get to get the special discount. So, what do we have after that, after the Dr. Brimmer E5?
All right, so that was all of my housekeeping notes. So we can get kind of into our discussions and our plans for today. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I wanted to bring up you talking to Denise and her sharing your story. I think it was actually at that seminar.
Yes.
You've got an annual coming up as well, right?
Yeah.
And then we do have some Q&As from people that last week posted below. So let's kind of get into,
Perfect.
Tell me a little bit about Denise and how that conversation went.
So you heard us mention Denise, or actually the E5 with Dr. Brimmer. One of our clients who came to that, her name is Denise, and I happened to be sitting next to her at that one, and she had never met me. We just never crossed paths in here, as I'm not here that often, but I'm here often enough where a lot of clients do see me. She had never met me yet, so it was cool to connect with her, start talking. 9 times out of 10, my first question to anybody who comes here is, how did you end up here? What was your path that took you from not even knowing we existed to now being a really all-in client? And Denise's story it's unfortunate, but it's actually fortunate that she did end up here and she's in good hands now. She was doing, and this is very typical, what age range is Denise in? 60s, early 60s?
Early 60s.
Okay, so to give you some context, early 60s, hardworking woman, great spirit, very active life. She had tried a boot camp, a typical high-intensity boot camp fitness class. I don't know if it was for a few months or what have you, but what ended up happening was she had a very serious injury to her hip in that boot camp, and if I remember right, she either had to get surgery or intense physical therapy or both. I can't remember the exact details because I was trying to start video record the seminar as I'm having a conversation with her. But long story short, she was injured so bad that she realized, okay, I can't do this. This is not a good thing for me. I'm done here. After I recover, I'm going to be moving on to something else. Because she wasn't giving up her pursuit of health, wellness, and longevity. Serendipity had it where she did find us. It was either through a Facebook share or a friend who's already coming here or a neighbor. She ended up here and she was hooked from day one. She's like, this is gold. This is totally what we need. I feel safe. I feel like I'm actually doing something even though I'm safer, and it's a lifesaver. I'm here for good, she said. This is exactly what we need for good health, wellness, and longevity. So I share that with you to highlight something really important, that in the mass market out there are so many high intensity, high impact, push harder, go home, no pain, no gain types of programs. And again, we will keep saying this. The younger crowds might be able to get away with that for a certain amount of time. And I will even have peers who will argue with me that even the older folks, 30s, 40s, 50s, can and should be doing that stuff. And you know what? There's a little bit of truth to that, because there's a tiny, tiny percentage of people who can actually survive that long enough, deal with the chronic injuries on and off because they didn't have to be put into surgery. Truth is, for the vast majority of the population out there, all of us regular busy people who we don't have anything to prove, we're not going into competitions, a gentler, safer, more controlled form of training for fitness, wellness, health, and longevity is what we need. And that's why we're here, that's what we do. So that's the point I want to make to you in that. Let it sink in, and if you're already here, you already know what we're talking about. But if you're new to us, whether you're local or long distance, make sure you come find us and get access to all of our freebies so that you can try our stuff for free and see and feel exactly what this is all about before you decide to come join here, or before you decide to purchase a Sculpted Fit home gym system for your home, your vacation home, your office, or even one for the yacht if you have one. But that's the point we're trying to make here. And again, lots of freebies for you to get started enrollment.
Awesome. We actually, a lot of the freebies at home as well. If you have any knee issues, we have a lot of our ladies that have had meniscus tears, knee replacements, coming in here and doing what we do in here, and that is at home and available on those free, will help your knee and your muscles around that knee, strengthen the ligaments, strengthen those muscles. That way you're able to move and function with less pain.
Awesome point. So let's talk just a tiny bit further on this. Awesome point. Even here definitely, and all of our long distance clients, everybody has issues. Even we do. We've got things because we played sports. Some of us used to work out really hard, like in beast mode and killing it. So we've got old injuries that we have to be careful of. A lot of the ladies here that come here, some of the guys that I train who are long distance and coach, at first people will be apprehensive. They will be fearful of an old injury they have, no matter how they got it. They're scared that it's going to get worse or lead to something else being injured. And so some of them have been sedentary because of that, because of fear and insecurity. But the problem is, the more sedentary we are, the more sacrificed the whole body becomes, and it actually makes any kind of injury that much worse because your whole body's deconditioned. The key, the wise key, is to train the body in a way that actually keeps that joint or old injury safe and builds up the rest of the body around it, and gently building that injury or old surgery point up so that it becomes stronger, and the rest of the body, the joints, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue around it gets stronger so that it becomes more functional and it doesn't debilitate you. So it's a very different approach than taking a mass market, we're going to go kill it, we're going to go all out. If the injuries are there, we got to suck it up, or we'll work around it, or we'll ice it tonight. No. There's a much smarter way to not only work around the injuries or the old issues, but to help them improve and get better so that we remain functional, fit, and feeling good and out of pain. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what I had next. I can't believe it's already time for your next annual.
Yes. So next week is my annual complete and thorough health and wellness exam. And so even though I'm a male, like I said, your hubbies, your boyfriends, your sons can watch this too. What we're going to share right now applies to women, not gender specific at all. Several years ago, I decided I'm going to make my annual complete health and wellness exam, summaries in here from last year, a part of my health and wellness journey. This is going to become my guidepost. Not how I look in the mirror or not how I want people to see me and admire me. That's all way down the list. Actually, it's almost non-existent now. I don't care what other people think when they see me. I do love inspiring people, and that's why the outward appearance is important, because inspiration starts from the visual, and then we have an entryway to impact people. But my guidelight, my guiding post, my milestone markers are now my annual health exam. So for the last several years, I've been sharing all of my results openly in my blogs, on my former podcast, and previous episodes. And every year, I strive to do the same. Sometimes I even bring the video cam into Dr. Osborne's office to show you everything we're doing, and then to go back and show you the next visit where we do the interpretation and we go over all the results. At minimum, if I don't have the time, energy, or effort to bring the video cam in, or the doctor has some issues that day, or the office is out of sorts with the cam in there, it's totally cool and understood. But I will always be sharing the complete results with you. Not to brag about what's going on with me, but to show you certain things, to show you the changes over time, and to inspire you to do the same, to make your annual health exam one of your guideposts, one of your milestone markers that keeps you in line the whole year to make sure that your numbers end up in the zones where you want them to. And again, this is not about perfection, because you're going to see mine are not perfect. But the key is to know where you stand, know that you're at least maintaining the good numbers, and you're striving to make the numbers that can use a little bit of work to make them better. So that's why we mentioned my annual. It's coming up next week. I'm going to be sharing as much as possible. You can count on hearing it, or bits and pieces of it, over the next few podcast episodes, because since it's a very, very thorough exam, I do like to slice and dice it and point out certain things to you watching and to you listening on the podcast, and in addition to the video show, so that you can be better informed, more well educated as to what you could be looking out for in yours. Because the truth is, a lot of people, and we're really surprised, haven't had an annual exam in years, when in actuality they should have had them for the last several years. Number two, lots of annual exams are very, very superficial and one-dimensional. And the truth is, there's a lot more going on inside you than you might think. So the program I'm on is the MD VIP Wellness Program. And I pay a little extra for it, but it gives me the peace of mind that we're digging several layers deeper. We're doing extra tests. We're going 2 or 3 layers deeper, like just in the cholesterol, for example. Not only do we look at cholesterol levels and the breakdowns of the different cholesterol, we are actually also able to monitor the number of cholesterol particles and the size of the cholesterol particles. Most people don't know that. Truth is, it's a fact. And knowing the size and the number of the different cholesterol particles gives you a deeper indication of what your bigger numbers actually mean to you, and what you should be looking out for, or what you should be doing or continuing to do. So that's just one example. Before we go on, I will mention one experiment I did from last year is we found that, according to Dr. Osborne, my vitamin D level is a little bit low. It's not dangerously low, but it's low enough where he felt like I might want to start supplementing with supplemental vitamin D. He said it's not mandatory, but if you wanted, you could. So what I did was this, and this is important now because it's a year later. I decided I'm not going to supplement with vitamin D specifically. I decided I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which was all pretty good, as you know, if you've been tuning in, and see what happens without changing anything. What happens to my vitamin D levels 1 year later without the gentle recommendation of adding vitamin D supplementation into the mix. Now, if we see that it's the same, I might do the same thing. I might wait. If it's lower, I might start supplementing with it, and then we'll see what the results are next year. Or if we find something else crazy, maybe it has gone up on its own, and then I'll have to try to find out, well, how did I do that? What's the answer to that? And we'll share that on the podcast and the video show as well. So I share this with you to, again, inspire you, inspire people around you, but also give you better ideas on how to actually look at, think about, analyze your annual health exams, and to let them inspire and motivate you to make certain changes, to continue certain habits, etc., etc. Make sense?
Awesome. Yeah, those vitamin D numbers will be interesting. Have you been out in the sun more?
Probably the same, maybe a little bit less this last year, so it'll be interesting to see what the change is, if any.
Right. So for this podcast, and let's say someone's listening and you inspire them to get their annual, which I love how you pointed out, annual does mean once a year. So it doesn't mean every few years you go and get your annual.
I get my annual every 5 years.
This is typical. So if someone is going to sign up and get their annual, what would you say are the two or three main things that people want to look at in terms of their numbers?
Is this from Patty's question or just in general?
This is just in general.
Well, the main things are the obvious ones. Blood pressure, for sure. And then we're going to give some context to these. Cholesterol, not just the total cholesterol. A lot of people stop there, but the cholesterol breakdown. Your HDLs, your LDLs, and then your calculated ratios. Because that's where the real importance lies, in the breakdown of the cholesterol and the ratios. Other than that, everything else is kind of age range specific. Like, I think in this last one we started looking at my testosterone levels. Women, they'll start getting the thyroid levels checked. The FSH, I forget the full word for FSH, for women who might be in or around menopause, to confirm whether or not they're in menopause. Okay. So it's all person specific, gender specific, slightly gender specific. But honestly, with the amount of people I've met who haven't had anything at all, even just the big basic ones are important to start with. So cholesterol, the breakdowns of the cholesterol, blood pressure, and know the key is context and relativity. Even though you may get your blood pressure readings, you still need to know what's your family history, your parents, your siblings, what do their blood pressures look like, so you have some context as to where you're at. But most and more importantly, the whole reason for getting annual exams is that you have a personal relative benchmark for your numbers for next year. You can look back at the last few years and know where you stand. Because if you haven't gotten an exam in 10 years and you go to get it and you have all these great numbers that you're looking at and trying to figure things out, you have no foundational baseline to compare that to. All you have are population norm tables to compare that to, which are fine as a first layer. The key, though, is knowing where you stack up against yourself in your personal history. That's the whole point of getting these done every year, because then every time you do it, you have much better context as to where you stand in regards to yourself. Then you can compare yourself against the norm tables of the general population. Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. All right, so I'm excited to talk about that in the future and see what your new numbers are for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Do you have any breakthroughs to share? Do you have any long distance clients, or maybe you have some studio clients?
So, yeah, where do we start? Well, we can't do all these, but we'll do one or two and save the others for other episodes. I have several long-distance clients, usually do. We do daily check-ins. My long-distance clients do daily check-ins with me. It's usually either a combo of texts, private document sharing, and or email, in addition to the video calls we do bi-weekly or sometimes weekly or sometimes tri-weekly, every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or 1 week, depending on the person and the severity of their needs. But last night's check-ins, I usually do check-ins in the morning for people who are in different time zones. I'll do morning check-ins, and then at night I'll do everybody pretty much in most U.S. time zones. My clients in the U.S. time zones, I'll do at night before bedtime. Last night was an awesome one. I know I can share her name because she's let me share her blog and her 1 month reflection a few months ago. Cindy is actually starting a podcast. Her journey is just unbelievable. This is a woman who tried everything, failed every time, could not stop gaining weight since she was a teenager, and was about to throw in the towel until she discovered me through buying one of my programs years ago, never using it, but still getting emails from me.
Right.
Last night, she said, I am actually feeling sexy for the first time in I don't know how long. She has had to redo her wardrobe. She's buying new clothes. She tried on a pair of jeans and shorts yesterday, and she could not believe the body she was looking at is actually hers. She feels it's surreal.
Dang.
So her podcast is going to be awesome. It should be coming out very soon. I've kind of guided her on starting it because when she speaks about all the little things along the way that are allowing her to do this, there are valuable gems and insights that other women and people in general need to hear so that they can understand that no matter how far gone you are and no matter how much you've lost hope, you got to have a little hope, because that's what she had, and now her whole life is changing because of it. So stay tuned. We'll be sharing her podcast link once she goes live with it so that you can tune into that and hear her whole story unfolding in real time from her, straight from her mouth, from her lips. There was another thing she said last night that is breakthrough material. The way she's thinking about foods now is completely different and becoming very natural as compared to how she thought about her foods when she was in all of the yo-yo dieting and fitness years. Because she thinks of food in a whole new way, it has a different meaning to her. And because it has a different meaning to her, her interactions and her emotional connections with food and drinking are completely different.
Wow.
And that's allowing her to have all these different actions and thoughts during the day that lead to the positive results she's getting. I say that because in breakthrough fashion, if you have your old relationship intact with foods, eating, drinking, no matter what your drinking patterns are, whether it's alcohol or just high-calorie, crazy beverages, if you go to try forcing change on yourself with the latest diet, whether it's keto or Atkins or paleo combo or, you name it, low carb, high fat, no carb, whatever, if your mindset and your thought processes don't shift, you're still the same person that has not been reprogrammed yet, and you're going to fail. It's a fact. Whether it's in a week or a month or 9 months, you're going to fall off that program because your mind has not changed. Mm-hmm. When that changes, the surprising thing is you don't need a diet, you don't need an extreme plan, you don't need anything prepackaged or structured or something that's not doable. You learn how to eat properly and think properly. And so you have all these different options available to you that allow you to stick to this anywhere you are, anytime. Travel, vacation, friend's house, parties, you name it. You're in the zone all the time and you know what to do. Mm-hmm. Nothing can mess you up. So that's the one breakthrough we're going to share. The other one, we're trying to squeeze these into 45 minutes, so I want to make sure that we're not going overboard. Oh, we're good here. So the other one I'll squeeze in now, we'll save the others for later, is Kendall, and she also shared her 1 month reflection, and that's on one of the blogs, so I know we can speak publicly. Last night's check-in, this is the first major vacation, family vacation she's been on since starting with me.
Wow.
Every year before, no matter what she was doing, she could not continue to exercise, and her eating was just off the charts. Mm-hmm. And no matter what, even if she was really, really good before that, the vacation would totally throw her off, set her back at square one, and she'd be back on the cycle again. Now, I say this because I know a lot of people watching and listening have experienced that same cycle. Whether it's an event, a vacation, getting sick, whatever, that event has all the elements in it to throw you off if you let it. But if you program yourself and you get yourself into the right frame of mind and right lifestyle habits, you can take any event, navigate it perfectly and properly, and come out on the other end still on the right track and probably having made progress. So Kendall's like, I'm so proud of myself. She wrote this in her evening check-in. I'm so proud of myself. This is the first time I have not had ice cream on the first 2 nights of vacation, even though everybody else is. And the fact that I've actually exercised 2 or 3 times in the first 3 or 4 days is a complete life change for me. I've never done that, ever. But because of the way we structure things and I guide them on what's right, what's wrong, what's going to be worthwhile, what's not, they're able to know the truth and then execute on that truth because we make it doable. When you make something unrealistic and undoable, you can't do it.
Right.
If you make something doable and realistic and people understand, oh yeah, I can do just that and that's going to help me, perfect, count me in. Then they do it and they feel like, wow, I did that. I'm good. I'm still on it. So big breakthrough. I share that because I know a lot of people struggle with, especially vacations or business travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you have the right plan and you have the right mindset, there's nothing that can take you off track.
Sounds like Cindy as well, that reprogramming where it's just innate to
Right.
make better choices.
It becomes second nature that replaces the old nature.
And I bet she's enjoying her vacation more. That she's not feeling bloated and weird in her
Exactly.
stomach. And
When you're feeling good and you know you're on your program, you're also enjoying your vacation more. Because when you're not, in the moment, when you're messing up, you know you're messing up. And it makes you miserable on that vacation. And then when you're heading home and you feel all bloated and puffy and weak and soft and knowing that you need to get back on again, you feel crummy about yourself. It's depressing. People describe it in many different ways, but I know because I've been there. In my ups and downs, that's one that I experienced. And experiencing it several times gave me part of the reason for not wanting to experience it ever again, and then coming up with a solution and realizing that it's all mindset, planning, structuring, and staying true to my values and goals.
Awesome. Kendall, Cindy, if you guys are watching this or if you're listening to this, super well done. We're
Well done.
really, really proud of you.
And you other long-distance clients and some local ones who have great stories and breakthroughs to share, we are going to include those in future episodes. Haven't forgotten about you, Patty. Haven't forgotten about you. I can't say everybody's name because some of them do want to remain anonymous and private, so I have to be careful here. But you other ones will be sharing your stuff anonymously as well, so stay tuned.
Yeah, on that note, we do have a couple questions that were sent in.
Okay.
So we can get to those. Now we do have, looks like I missed something on our housekeeping. Our new hybrid PT program. Do we have time for that? Or do we
Quick mention.
All right, awesome. So we're doing a lot of great things in our studio with our group classes. We do have some ladies that have said, their timing doesn't work, or they'd like a little bit more personalization. Absolutely. So we developed that hybrid program where they can come in 1 time a week, or sometimes more, with that coach, one-on-one.
Private personal training.
In addition to the group classes that we do,
Awesome.
They still have access to those videos online. Already super successful. Our ladies are loving it.
Nice.
Really, really loving
That's
it.
a great
Our
combo.
team's doing really, really great with it. So,
Hybrid PT combo with classes. Nice.
it's great. All right, see if I don't follow my outline, then
That's
I'm gonna
right.
miss things. All right, let's get into the Q&A. So, Lisa asked about the coupon ads in the local mailers, and what our take is on the weight loss offers that are in there.
All right. So I take, on video, you can see him holding one up. If you're listening on the audio podcast, I'm holding up those local magazine coupon-loaded flyers that come through the mail every week, or it's probably every week,
Yeah, at
sometimes
least
monthly,
once a
right?
week, yeah.
So you get all the typical food advertisements, the coupons, you get the roofers and the gutters and all the lawn care and the AC people. Then you've got all the weight loss and the beauty offers. So I'm not going to go through all of them from this edition. I am going to pick out one, and I am going to call it out. I'm not going to mention any names, owners of the clinics or professionals, for lack of a better word. We're not going to name names, because the last time I named names, there was a big backlash against me.
There was.
But we're going to talk about that in the future. We're not letting that one go here, because there was actually a lot of positive stuff that came out of that. But I speak my mind. We speak our mind. We want you to have the truth. And even if that means we're going to get some backlash from people that had their feelings hurt or something, we'll apologize. We're sorry. Maybe we could word things better. But we're still going to share the truth and our beliefs. So I opened this month's or this week's flyer, coupon-packed flyer for all the different weight loss and beauty treatments, surgeries, procedures, etc., etc. And the one I'm going to call out today is, here's how you know this is bogus. Or maybe you don't know, but I'm going to tell you because I'm an expert in one of these things. They're offering, amongst several other very questionable overnight quick fixes, are lipo and B12 injections, the strongest available with the big syringe we see here. Only $15. Benefits include burn fat, increase energy, melt cellulite, and improve health. Here's the problem. There's a dead giveaway here. You might not know this, but I know it. When something says melt cellulite, dead giveaway that it's a scam, it's bogus, it's not going to do what it says, run the other way. Throw this stuff in the trash. Or give it to me because I'm going to be highlighting other ones next time. When something says melt cellulite, you can count on it being a scam, a ripoff, and a phony. Because there is no such thing as cellulite. It's just a word that was made up in a European beauty spa that stemmed from something else medically, and then it was twisted, contorted, and reapplied to the trouble zone appearance, mostly on women, of these dimples, shadows, and mushy ripples on their bodies. Butt, hips, thighs, lower abs, sometimes other parts. But this name, it's only an adjective really, is not a noun. Cellulite is actually an adjective that describes what women do not like about their trouble zones. There is no special fat called cellulite. There's no toxin buildup and waste product buildup causing this formation of cellulite under the skin or in the skin. It's not a noun. It does not exist. It's a made-up word to make women think that these dimples, shadows, and ripples on their trouble zones are this thing called cellulite. So because it doesn't exist, it cannot be melted, it cannot be flushed out, it cannot be body wrapped out, can't be any of that stuff. So we'll talk about cellulite more, maybe on a specific episode, because in case you don't know, I'm one of the biggest names in fixing cellulite with proper, specific, targeted exercises. That's where my Naked Beauty program came from, the Simulast method. And I say this without holding back. I know more about cellulite, or the word cellulite, than most cosmetic surgeons do. And I know this because I've spent hours and hours in the realself.com forums where all this stuff is shared with all kinds of cosmetic procedures and surgeries, and women who had stuff, women who are looking to get procedures done, and all different kinds of doctors posting their knowledge and their answers for all these people's questions. One of the most misunderstood is cellulite. And I say this respectfully. I understand that it can be misleading if you've been taught improperly. So if doctors are saying what they've been taught, that's all they know. I will say that some have been untruthful in their doings, and they will sell services, procedures, treatments that will not and cannot fix the problem of cellulite. I'm going to leave it at that today. We're going to revisit this on another episode where we go several layers deeper to really give the full story on this thing called cellulite and what it actually takes to reverse the root cause and get rid of it. And we're going to share specific examples and success stories with you to prove to you that what we're sharing is real. So that's that one. I hope the rest are short.
Well, we can see this one. That Naomi does want a recent cellulite success story. So
all right. Naomi, great question. Recent cellulite success story. Can't share photos here on the autocast. Can't share them on the video cast because I don't have photos to show you, but we will share links when we post links to these various episodes. And if you don't see them, come post for us on social media. Where are the cellulite success stories? We've got several to share. One I'm going to share with you right now, which is a recent one. There are many others. I had somebody who actually purchased the Portuguese version of Naked Beauty, the Cellulite, the Simulast method for cellulite. She purchased the Portuguese version because it's in 6 languages now, 6 total. English is 1 and then 5 others. She purchased that one, used it for a while, came and found me on Instagram to share her success story with me and her gratitude and her thanks. And she's almost 40 years old. She started 2 years ago after a lifetime riddled since her teenage years with these cellulite dimples, ripples, and shadows on her trouble zones. And no matter what she did, no matter how many traditional hardcore body-breaking workouts that she did, nothing she tried ever worked. She found my program, did it faithfully, and she said within the first month, things were happening. She was seeing changes. She was blown away, couldn't believe it. After 3 months, wild changes, like she could not believe her eyes. And then after 6 months, she said it was nearly all gone, changed her life, totally changed her paradigm on what not only exercising for cellulite actually means, but how to work out properly in general for her entire body and for the benefit of her joints, her health numbers, her wellness, her longevity, let alone the cellulite issue being fixed. So her name is Vanessa. I'm actually preparing the rest of her success story interview. We're going to try to do a podcast and then have it translated, if we can, into English. But the written one is almost fully done. Part of it's been posted. I'll be posting the rest of it soon so that I can share that with everybody, along with all of our other cellulite success stories and before and after photos as well.
Cool.
Great question, Naomi. Thank you for asking that one.
Very cool. We're going to move on, but before then, what would you define cellulite as?
Well, that was my definition. It's a made-up word, and it's a word that describes this appearance of women's trouble zones. So it doesn't matter. Your weight doesn't matter. You could be skinny and look phenomenal in clothes, turn heads, but you put on a bikini or you get naked, and you see the dimples, the ripples, the shadows that just upset you so much that you don't even like your body, regardless of the size of it. And it affects women of all ages and weights and sizes. Because it's not the weight of a woman, it's the appearance of the skin, the surface layer.
Right.
So it's the muscle layers under the skin. When muscles are atrophied or used improperly and not stimulated enough, what happens is they get deflated. That's atrophy. Atrophy is when muscles shrink and get smaller. They get deflated.
Right.
When those muscles shrink and get smaller, they provide less of a support layer for the skin lying on top of them. So when the skin layer and the fat layer and the connective tissue layers have less support under them, they get wavy and bumpy and well, not bumpy, but dimply, because dimples go inward,
right.
Bumps go outward. If you have bumps, you want to go see a doctor. We're talking about dimples that go inward, not bumps that protrude out. Bumps that protrude out, go see a medical professional. Dimples, shadows, and ripples are caused by weak, mushy, untoned, saggy muscles under the skin. And even the hardcore workouts do not stimulate them properly to get the desired changes. And that's why women are so confused. They think, well, I've heard exercise does it. Truth is, not all exercise is equal, and it has different effects on the body. That's why backing away from the hardcore stuff and going to gentle, sequential, form, tempo, sequenced, prepared exercises is what brings about the proper stimulation for those muscles in those trouble zones underneath the cellulite areas.
Perfect. Got it. Hopefully that helped you guys at home too. A little bit more of a
Great question.
Real definition there of that made-up word. All right, our last question comes from Patty. Now she asks, actually this ties in perfectly with the female annual. What should she look at, or people over 50, what should they be looking at in their female annual health
Yes.
exam?
So Patty, thank you for asking that. Patty is a Sculptifit home gym founder. She bought one of the originals last year when we launched. So Patty holds a special place here. She has one of these in the home for her and the family. So she sent me the question that you just heard. So Patty and everybody else listening, when a woman turns 50, it's really simple. You want to get all the well-known definitive health exam vitals checked out, get all the numbers. But at 50, you also want to make sure you get a mammogram, which you probably already know. And then every year after that, it's not mandatory to get a mammogram. It all depends on your personal situation, your family history, and what has been going on with you the last few years, and how that first mammogram goes, the results you get in that one. All those factors will dictate, you want to talk this over with your doctor, of course, will dictate how many years should go by until your next mammogram exam. So 50 mammogram, mandatory. And then after that, your doctor will communicate with you on what the best sequence is after that. The other one, colonoscopy at 50, male and female. Get the colon checked because we want to prevent colon cancer. After that, there are, again, different lifestyle factors, hereditary factors, personal factors that you can discuss with your doctor to determine what the time interval after that first one should be, whether it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, when to get your other colonoscopies after that first one when you turn 50. Which means in a few months, when I turn 50, I'll be going for my colonoscopy, I think, as well. So that'll be in March sometime. So next annual, unless he forces me to do it sooner, will be mine. Looking forward to that. The other ones to consider are an eye exam, if you hadn't had one in a long time. Bone density, I'm a big fan of bone density for osteoporosis and osteopenia. And the PAP, all women know about the PAP, right? Definitely, if it hasn't been done, get one at 50, and then you can discuss with your OBGYN how many times or what rhythm you want to get after that, beyond 50. And those are the biggies that I have outlined for Patty. So Patty, founder, Sculptive at Home Gym System owner in your family, thank you for sending that question in. If you are listening and watching and you want to be the proud, fit, healthy owner of a Sculptive at Home Gym System, at the time of this video, we'll be going to pre-order for the new year for 2020, probably in the next few weeks. So post for us below, let us know you're interested. No matter where you're watching this, whether it's right now on Facebook Live or posted on one of our web pages or on our YouTube channel, let us know if you can't come find us. Post below, let us know you're interested in getting one for you, your family, for the house, the vacation home, the office, the yacht, wherever. And we'll make sure we get you all the information you need to possibly be included in the next production run, unless you're watching this in 6 months from live recording or listening to this a year from now, and we may have some in stock ready to go for you depending on the time of year. We may have a special going or free shipping in the US or something like that. So you know where to find us if you're watching this. Post below or nearby, or come email us or reach us on social media to find out where you can get yours, because I promise this will change your life. It has changed mine. It has changed everybody else who's using it, and all of our founders who are using theirs, and everybody else who's recently ordered one in the last production run. Life-changing, and we want to help change yours.
Yes.
Great question.
And we'll post that if you're watching it or if you're listening and you're not able to watch and see this beautiful unit. We do have a link or a video link on how quick it is to assemble and how
max
light it is.
15 minutes max now. I've had some people email founders say, this is crazy. Old home gyms of the past took us a whole weekend to put together, and it was the most stressful thing ever. We put this together in like 15 minutes, literally, and we're done. How did you make it so easy to put this together and yet have it do so much for everybody in the family? It's called, I don't know, is it called genius? Can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
I guess we'll call it, I don't know. Yeah, we'll call it genius.
Yeah.
I'm modest, I'm humble, but I guess there's some genius in there.
There's a lot of genius in there. It's come from many people about him, so he's able to say it. If you know at least 100 people say it, then you can say it once.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take that. We'll take that. All right. So, let's see. What time do we have? Do we have time for one more anonymous question?
Maybe. In the meantime, what do we have for people? Well, we've got a few minutes, so what anonymous questions do you have?
So, someone sent in, they want to know, what do we eat?
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. You get that a lot. What do we eat to stay fit and healthy, and how do we know what to eat? So I brought what I'm probably going to be bringing into other episodes. If you're listening on the podcast, the audio cast, you won't be able to see what I'm sharing, but on the video, which you can see on the video channel on YouTube or Facebook Live, I've got my goodie bag where I brought my empties of the week to share, and we'll probably make this a regular thing. Every few weeks we'll bring in some of the goodies that we eat. We'll bring the empty cartons and boxes and bags to show you. So the first thing I have is from So Delicious, dairy-free chocolate peanut butter swirl coconut milk ice cream.
Wait a second, you're telling people that you can eat ice cream?
You can eat ice cream.
Wow.
Now, unlike my old days when I used to have a whole pint of the dangerous brands that are loaded with fat and sugar, you don't need the whole thing. Like when your mindset shifts, you realize a little is a lot. A quarter of this, even a third of this, if you want to stretch it, can go so far when you enjoy smaller bites and you're tuned into what you're eating and you're not ready to take the next bite before you even finish the first bite. So yes, we can enjoy ice cream. We can even enjoy traditional organic ice cream, as long as you got your mind in the right place and you're not eating the whole pint or the whole carton. So that's so delicious. Dairy-free, chocolate peanut butter swirl, coconut milk, made with organic coconut and mostly organic ingredients. Excellent ice cream alternative. It tastes just like ice cream, really. Delicious. On the video, I'll show you up close. If you want, post first below, we'll share the links to these. The other, I've got 3 items today. Actually 4, but I'm going to save the 4th one for next time. This is, people love cereal. Remember as kids, we used to eat cereal at night before bed?
All the time.
All this high sugar, processed carbohydrate ones that used to, we didn't know, but as adults, they started packing on the pounds if you can't let go of that cereal habit. So, I will have cereal with my dinner sometimes as dessert. I will throw some chocolate chips in here with some good vanilla soy milk, and it's like a dessert. Organic, high-fiber, whole-grain goodness from Trader Joe's. These are organic, high-fiber O's. 9 grams of fiber per serving, 6 grams of protein per serving, and these are delicious. They're not that nasty kind of health cereal that you don't want to eat. These I actually look forward to, and you can even sprinkle a little bit of cacao powder or cocoa powder and a little bit of stevia or coconut sugar if you need more sweetness or if you want a different flavor added to it. So many things you could do with this, but that's my version of it. You see that on video. If you know about Trader Joe's, go check them out. You'll find this there. On the podcast, I gave you the name. You can come check us out on video if you want to see the box I'm holding up and find out the exact product. The other thing I will share before we wrap up is Neurondia, I can't read the script writing, so we're going to have to do some research on this. Neurondia Cibo Italiano 4-cheese imported stone-baked Italian pizza. No preservatives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. Handmade product of Italy, pizza napoletana. You can eat pizza when you're doing the right thing. The key is you just can't eat a whole New York pie all by yourself. You get these small personal size pizzas. You can have 1/3 of them or 1/4 of them with a big salad, some good veggies on the side, and it all works. People think you got to give up your favorite foods. No, it's a restructuring of your mindset and creating a whole new context for how and what you're eating and what the food means to you. When what the food means to you changes, then your choices and the amounts change. It's like magic. And I'm so glad I stumbled upon that because it's changed my life. Like all year round now, I'm healthy and in shape. It used to be I could only get in shape for summer and for competitions because of where my mind was. I had food addictions, codependencies. I used to be able to eat at least one of these by myself and more and not even think twice about it. Now, if I ate this whole thing, I'd be sick for 2 or 3 days because I've been reprogrammed, my stomach's been reprogrammed, my metabolism's reprogrammed, my values, my purpose, and intentions are reprogrammed. So I share these with you, and we'll share more of those in the future. If you like us sharing that on the podcast, come let us know. You want more of that? On the video show, post below, no matter where you're watching. Let us know you want to see more of the specific things we eat and drink so that you can learn straight from the horse's mouth what it is we're putting in our bodies, and it's no longer a question. And we've got lots of things, endless, so we'll keep sharing those, a few every week. Let us know you appreciate that. Let us know you want more. And before we wrap up, how do we leave off today? If you're new here, totally new, somebody shared this with you because they love you, friend, family member, coworker, if they shared this with you and you want more of our good stuff, our videos that you can actually start using today, go to fitnesstraining.live, fitnesstraining.live. We've got at least 4 video lessons there that you could start using today. Then we're going to be sending you more secret surprise stuff that we don't show on that page that you will be getting. You will also get weekly notice to the video show, the podcast, and other goodies we want to share in the spur of the moment that we believe will benefit you. If you are long distance and you want more than just the freebies, that's cool. Let us know what you want. We can give you the links to the home gym systems and all the information that pertains to them and how you can get one. We can share information with you about long distance coaching. If you're struggling, if you're done with it, you want to reach success once and for all, like the people we told you about today, reach out to us. Let us know. We will talk with you personally about your biggest problems, concerns, and issues, and we will explore a one-on-one coaching program with you, whether it's with me, Nikki, or one of the other coaches. We will get you on the right path, and we will take you to success, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're made to do, and we're really good at it. If there's something I'm leaving out and you want it, but we haven't said it, post for us. Let us know. Come to one of the sites or social media. Let us know. If you're local, if you're in the area and you're already a client, make sure you share this with your friends, family, and coworkers so they can have access to this. It takes us about 5 hours to plan this, to set up, to take this down, to upload the audio cast, to upload the videos, to prime them for hosting, for streaming, and then to put everything where it needs to go, and then to email out about it. It's like 5 hours total. That's more than half a workday for most people. But we're doing this free. So please, all we ask is that you share this with at least one person, maybe thousands, who will find help in this, who will find benefits, who will be in a better place after seeing and hearing what we shared today. Just share it. We'll keep doing it. If you keep sharing it, we'll keep bringing you the best we can. And we'll have different things for you. Today it's just me and Nikki. In the future, we're going to have the other coaches. We're going to have clients stepping in with us. We're going to have surprise local professional guests, doctors, nutritionists, other healthcare professionals coming in to bring you the best material to answer your biggest questions that will help you get to where you need to go. So if you're not a client, if you're just hearing about this and you're local and you want to come in here, call or text Nikki in reasonable hours, 904-891-3680. And what should they do with that call or text?
Tell me your name. Tell me what you're looking for goals-wise. I'll tell you a little bit more about the studio. We'll talk about your personal fitness, what you're looking for, and then we'll get you into a class or whatever feels best for you depending on what your goals are.
That's it. Call or text. She'll speak to you about your most burning needs, your biggest problems that you need to fix so that you can be totally healthy and on track. And she's going to invite you in for a casual studio tour. And if you like it, if you feel good here, which you probably will, she's going to probably give you a couple of free sample sessions for you to try out. How cool is that? You get to try before you even think about considering becoming a client. How cool is that? So if you want to take an even slower route, go to sculptifit.com. That's the studio website. You got a bunch of freebies there for you to even use and explore and check out. A lot of past videos on the blog. You can see some of the circuit configurations. So much there for you to access. Success stories, other women just like you posting their success stories on the blog. And that's it. We've given you all we have right now. You've got a lot of options for you to move forward. Whether you're down the street or on the other side of the world, you've got a lot of options to take your steps forward. We encourage you to do so. You will not be disappointed. You will be happy and happier as the days progress. And until next time, do you have anything else to share?
I think that's it. Ask your questions so that next time you can get your question answered.
That's it. Post below. Ask us your questions. We'll get them on the next episode. And you get to watch us shut down the podcast. So here I go. On video, you see us pull up our big podcast studio here. This is on an iPad. You see our wireless mics, or wired mics, connected to our chest. It's 58 minutes. We're going to get this done in the hour because this thing shuts off automatically at 1 hour. We are done. Listening on the podcast, thank you for tuning in. Nikki, any last parting words?
All right, get your fitness, get it going. Start today.
We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. All right, audio is off. Now I'm going to walk over to the camera where you're watching from right now. And you know why I know you're watching? Because you're watching. That's how I know. That's that. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. Be ready for next week.
See you then.